Ever heard that expression? Never let them see you sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
turns out that might be good advice if you're ever hooked up to a lie detector test.
Because those machines, those polygraphs, they're all about tracking those tiny physical reactions we have, the ones we might not even be aware of.
Right, like, can our bodies really betray us when we're trying to hide something? And is it as simple as those crime dramas make it seem?
Those are exactly the questions we're diving into today, looking at the science behind lie detectors and whether those telltale signs of deception are really all they're cracked up to be.
And speaking of deception, get this. I read this article on Newstalk about the show, The Traitors. They were holding auditions over in Ireland, and guess what they were looking for?
Let me guess. Good liars.
Spot on. Apparently, being able to lie convincingly is a hot commodity these days.
It's not just reality TV either. Think about all those high-stakes situations where lie detector tests come into play. Criminal investigations, job interviews, even relationships. People are obsessed with the idea of being able to separate truth from lies.
No kidding. But how does it actually work? I mean, they hook you up to this machine, and it can tell if you're lying just from your sweat.
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. It's not about a single bead of sweat. Polygraphs measure things like your heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, and even how much your palms are sweating.
Okay, so it's tracking all these different things at once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The theory is that when we lie, our bodies react involuntarily. Our heart might race a little faster, our breathing might get shallow, and the polygraph is designed to pick up on those subtle shifts.
And that's how they know if you're being truthful.
In theory, yes. They establish a baseline by asking you a few basic questions where they know the answer, and then they look for any major deviations when they ask the tough questions.
So if your heart starts pounding when they ask about that cookie you snuck from the jar, busted.
Well, that's the idea, but that's also where things get tricky.
What do you mean?
Think about it. You don't have to be a criminal mastermind to get nervous claims. Most of the time, it comes down to anecdotal evidence, not rigorous scientific studies, which, if you think about it, makes sense. If there was a foolproof way to beat a lie detector, wouldn't everyone be doing it?
Good point. So it seems like the jury is still out on whether lie detectors can live up to their name.
Exactly. There are just too many factors at play. Individual physiology, psychological states, even the skill of the examiner. It's not as cut and dry as Hollywood makes it seem.
It makes you wonder if maybe those producers of The Traitors are better off just trusting their gut when it comes to spotting a good liar.
Maybe so, because when it comes to human behavior, sometimes even the most advanced technology can't fully unravel the mysteries of the mind.
And on that note, it seems we've reached the end of our deep dive. What are your final thoughts? Do you think you'd be able to beat a lie detector test? Let us know. And be sure to tune in next time when we